everyone. My name is Linda Sims. I'm the Director of Home Care for the region, and I'm the team leader for RPIW number 30. This afternoon, our team will be reporting to a talk time of 20 minutes. And this is our wonderful team that we're all very excited to tell you about the results of all our work this week. This is our project form, and the theme of our RPIW is to reduce lead time for processing OR instruments from pre-clean to sterilized and returned to the OR. We quickly discovered that there are actually two processes that happen in the SPD. There's a process for rush items and there's a process for non-rush items. There's actually a lot more steps to the process than any of us anticipated. We did decide to focus on ENT and ortho instruments because they're the instruments that are required to be turned around quicker most of the time. Our target report, our progress report shows a number of targets that we will be talking about later about our results. And our TAC time was calculated by available time, which is 2 shifts minus their breaks, divided by the demand, which is the number of pounds that have to be processed through the day, which resulted in 21.3 minutes for ortho equipment, and for ENT equipment, the TAC time is 20.3 minutes.
Hi, I'm Chuck McCann. I was a participant in RPIW 30 in my real life. I'm the manager of addiction services. And I have to say that at the beginning I thought this was going to be boring. It was anything but. As a team, what we observed was two groups of people that were tremendously hard. And when I say hard, I mean that's not an understatement. They really busted butts. But what we saw was that there were some issues around communication. There's no clear lines of communication between the two departments. So it caused frustration for both departments. Some of the things that we've seen was staff not knowing what the daily slate would be. So they didn't really know what equipment was going to have to go in a timely manner. Worse yet, they didn't understand. They didn't know always when items needed to be rushed through and returned quickly. The OR and SPD staff really didn't understand each other's rules or causing some issues there. And the OR and SPD managers really had no venue for any kind of regular contact. And lastly, there were times when the OR staff needing something in a rush weren't able to contact SPD. So some of the things we tried, we created that form that we just had up there. It's called a cheat sheet, aka a multi-purpose form. And basically the purpose of that was to assist with the gathering of information. So Jason, the manager at SPD, began to go to the daily huddles at OR and use that sheet to gather information. Then we implemented a daily huddle for the SPD people. And he would take that form back and use that to kind of gather and pass information on to his team. It also serves as the ability, if you have somebody that was off and not around that day, they would be able to catch up the information. And so there's a bit of a tracking piece component built into it. We created the standard work for the daily huddle. And here's a picture of all the folks gathered around Jason in his daily huddles. I have to say that he was a little bit nervous, I think, until he actually actually pick the sheet up and he handles his huddle just like he's been doing it for years. So, what next? I lost my place. Oh yeah. So there's the idea sheet around staff not knowing what the demand was. That we created the whiteboard, and now he posts the sheet on the whiteboard and uses that then to update. You can see the titles there, and you can update as things change through the day, and so it's visible to everybody. There's no guesswork involved. And I think the last thing that we did was we had them carry portable phone whenever they're in the departments to ensure that if they can't reach somebody in SPD, they're always able to at least reach the manager or supervisor.
Hello, I'm Tara Shop. I'm an LPN ORC in the OR, and I am lucky enough to be up here for RPIW 30.
You're not seeing double.
I'm not sure, maybe last is a light year. So, in our large retractor pan, we have these rongeurs that we use in total joints, and lots of times they would come back. There's 4 screws on there, and they would come back really loose, and the instrument was really no good to us, and we didn't have an instrument to tighten those screws. There's also a potential of the screw actually falling in the patient's wound. So we spoke with SPD, a screwdriver has been supplied, and the SPD staff will now take up those screws prior to sterilization. So hopefully we can eliminate that defect. Towards the end of our cases, we kind of start dismantling certain basins and instruments, and we have a tendency to put instruments on the lower shelf of our tables, and we would normally just put them under there loosely, and then when transporting our tables to the SPD dirty room, sometimes they would fall off and they'd be misplaced or they had the potential to be broken. So we actually had got these basins from the SPD department. They were getting rid of them when they 5S their department. So we grabbed them off there and labeled them, and now we will utilize them in our department. There was also some confusion with the roles of who was going to be unloading the sterile carts, mostly on the weekends. So as work standard was filled out, and SPD has agreed that they will empty out the sterile carts to our shelves in this sterile OR room. We also had to look at our post-surgical tables. Just in the way that a scrub nurse would take their tables out of the room and bring them into the dirty service room. The more they're organized, it's an easier process for the service worker in there to get the supplies packaged up and on the wagons and downstairs faster, which in return gets our instruments back faster. And then this was actually timed, and we did note that the tables being not organized, it was 36 minutes, and with some small organization, it brought it down to 32 minutes, so there was a savings noted there with time in that process. We are in the middle of some training with the OR staff as to how to organize these tables when they are sent into the dirty service room. Yeah. I guess I didn't get all of this.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Roy Underhill, and I work with the SPD department, and my job is in the OR cleanup room. We had one problem we identified was with rushed items and not really having any identifier for the rush items. So we had an idea that maybe a laminated card, this nice pink card, would work with rush written on it. But quickly found out that it wasn't going to be a long-term solution, as it couldn't go through the washers and follow through with the instruments. But our manager in SPD did some research and found these quick turnaround tags, which can be clipped to the instrument pans and will follow the instruments from the cleanup room to the assembly area. And we have developed a work standard and training for this operation. And the second problem with the rush instrument was cooling time. And staff were wasting a lot of time and steps to see if the instruments were cool enough to go up to the OR. As you can see by the spaghetti diagrams, the first diagram shows staff walking a total of 252 feet to check pans. So the solution was that we would get 2 timers for items being cooled. The reason for 2 timers is there's lighter pans and heavier pans. So if you have a card of heavier pans, set the timer for 50 minutes. And you can see with the second spaghetti diagram that we reduced the walking to 44 feet from 252 feet. And the cooling time went from an hour and 55 minutes to 48 minutes. Just to clarify that, that was the hour and 55 minutes would be staff having to walk back and forth to check all the time, and maybe sometime get busy doing something else and not get back there to check right away. So that eliminated that problem. Third problem with rush items was to have an identifier so that the OR staff would know when their item was back. And a lot of times when we would take stuff up, there might not be somebody right there at the desk to say, we've got your instruments back up here. So at first we thought we'd just put a tag on one of the sterile card, realizing you'd have to have 4 tags, one on each side, which really wasn't workable. And Tara, being a Dollarama girl, remembered that she saw some orange cones down there would be great. We put them right on top of the card with rush items return written on it, very visible, and that problem was solved. The one other problem area that we addressed was the ultrasonic cleaner. It has a timer on it. The instruments needed a 15-minute cycle. The ultrasonic timer was set for 7.5 minutes, and they couldn't seem to get it changed. So came up with the idea to get a timer for the ultrasonic cleaner, and we set it up with a card with it. And on one side there was cycle 1, and on the other side cycle 2, so they could set the timer for 7.5 minutes with cycle on cycle 1, and then when that went off, they would set the timer again, put cycle 2, and then anybody coming in to take over would know right away if it was cycle 1 or cycle 2 that was complete. And this was a temporary fix, or will be until they get the other timer working. Factory timer on the machine working properly. And we've developed work standard and training around this area as well. And on a personal note, I didn't think I would ever be involved in one of these RPIWs, but my manager roped me into it. And but I really enjoyed it, and it really opened my eyes to a lot of things. And I enjoyed working with everyone very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Nell Heckel, and I'm the patient rep, and I work with Bell in this department. Our work area was sorting through 2 cards. This area was quite a mess. 345 items on these shelves. Some were unneeded and updated. we reduced the items from 345 to 130, pardon me, 345 to 135. That is a 61% reduction. We managed to reuse a fair number of items from the discarded ones, as Tara had mentioned, that they got a basin from us. We also created an empty shelf under the coffee corner for lunch bags. This was an extra thing that we did because the lunch bags were among the instruments and other items. The pre-score was 1.2. The post-score was 2.8. I find that the RPIWs are very informative and helpful, and I feel quite privileged to report on the changes that we have achieved. I do enjoy meeting new people and working with them, and the prayer was such a nice touch. Thanks, Gail.
Hello, my name is Donna Cook, and I work in the Kaizen promotion office normally. So I'm usually a Kaizen support person for RPIWs. This particular RPIW, I was the sub-team lead and suffered from role confusion. So right now you are looking at our standard work combination sheet pre-Kaizen. And what this sheet really is about all of the timed observations that we went and did in week -3, 2, and 1. And if you flip, you'll see the timed observation sheet. So we go and collect timings, and then we come back and we highlight the most reasonable timing. So that was the pre, and next is our post. If you were paying close attention, you will see that this was shorter than the pre, but I will tell you more specifically about the times when we get to the target progress. Next, you're going to see our, our value stream map. So I have to tell you how proud we are of this value stream map. This is our post Kaizen map, which is our new current state for rushed ortho items. Unfortunately, this week there were no ENT surgeries, or I should say fortunately, because it was hard enough to time one process. So we just focused on ortho this week. Again, you'll see that this is still a 2-page map. We have crossed out many starbursts with the black ink, you can see. And we're very proud to report that our lead time went from 5 hours and 28 minutes to 3 hours and 37 minutes for rushed ortho equipment. So what that really means is that our patients and our providers will have that equipment back on time and earlier than they would have before this RPIW. It also means that our value-added time went from 86% pre-Kaizen to 98%. So a little bit of room for improvement still, but we're really happy with that. Yeah, slave driver. That's my nickname during RPIWs. Next you see our newspaper. We had over 35 items on our newspaper, and we still have a few items left, which will be handed over, some to our sponsor, but most to our process owners who have a little bit of standard work training to complete and so forth. The next paper you see here is our implementation plan. This is something new to RPIWs, which has been developed to really help our process owners in the follow-on stage. It's a summary and leaves or has an area at the bottom for actions left to complete as well. Next, I think you're going to see our waste wheel pre-Kaizen, and if you flip, you will see how many stickies we were able to remove, so quite a few were taken off. Our final target progress sheet is now on the screen, and I just wanted to highlight a few things from that. So for walking distance, and that was around that cooling time, the decrease in steps amounted to an 83% reduction in their walking. For our lead time, going from 5 hours to the 3 hours, that's a 31% reduction in lead time. Under our quality items, we were keeping track of a couple things. One of them was missed cycles on the ultrasonic washer. So because that timer was broken, we did witness one cycle being missed. And we are proud to say now that no cycles are missed. That was a 100% reduction. Productivity gain doubled. We went from 1.2 to 2.4. Our setup time was a 44% reduction in the OR pre-clean. So by having the OR staff set those tables in a more orderly fashion on return to the pre-clean area, we were able to reduce that by 44%. And finally, our capacity, that's our available time over the cycle time. This increased by 142%. So for our summary, we had some really great themes coming from our team. I'll just summarize them quickly for you. The work that SPD does is critical to patient safety. So what they do is so important so that no infections are passed on to all our patients. The second summary is around communication. So we really worked on communication this week, and we are very hopeful that that communication will continue to grow and build. Thirdly, our patient rep had some wonderful comments about how important the follow-on is to RPIWs, and we've heard that in the other reports as well. And I think it really truly is important. It's crucial to the success of all the hard work that's done during the event weeks. Also, Nell just mentions how appreciative she is to be on the teams. But I got to tell you, it's really us who are so thankful to our patients. They keep it so real for us, and they always drive it back to why we're here. We all have jobs, and we're all in this profession because of our patients and families. Okay, I'll get it together for the last one, which I can't read because of the tears in my eyes. No, our last summary was just around how important it is to always respect our neighbors and to, when we do this, when we respect our neighbors, then we create a harmonious work environment, and that leads to success and happier patients and happier patient experiences. Our thank yous. We had so many people to thank. Deb Dollar, thank you so much from JVA for being our constant coach. It's always fun to work with you. This wonderful RPIW team who've gone above and beyond, did everything that the slave driver asked them, and the team lead, who was much more gentle. Les Balicki and your staff, you guys are so great to work with. Thank you. Jason, what an eye-opening experience it's been for all of us to go into the SPD department. Thank you and your staff for being open and honest with us. Our 5S Ninja, Val Middlebrook, self-named, but true, very true. She is a pro at what she does. Catherine from Health Quality Council, thank you for coming and spending this time with us. We learned a lot from you as well. Now, one more time for all of our patient reps, thank them so much for taking their time out of their lives to spend a whole week with all of us. Corey and the biomed staff for answering some questions and responding to some of our needs around the ultrasonic machine. Rick Lederhouse, he's going to be involved with the ongoing work around purchasing of equipment. Cheryl Elliott, our sponsor, thank you so much for coming and breaking down barriers for us. Carol Grigrick and Pat Stewart for filling in and sitting in daily status report outs. RPIW number 28, thank you for sharing Tara. Tara, thank you for splitting yourself and working on 2 teams. That wasn't easy for her, but she did it, and she got up here today and reported out when she didn't want to talk to anybody. And Ian, our KPO support, and finally Roy from Roy's Room, who we're going to have to rename because our lovely Roy participant is retiring in a month. So thank you, Roy, and a big round of applause and congratulations.